What is up, guys? Rickhackus here, and this is Crota's End for Dummies, a complete raid guide going over every tip, trick, and exploit to make your run through the raid as easy as possible. So when you start the raid, you'll see a plate in front of you. This plate is going to be kind of a familiar thing throughout the raid. There's several occasions where you have to do what you're going to do immediately and stand on this plate, which builds this kind of bridge out into the middle of the open circle. You're going to jump down and begin the actual raid. Again, this plate will come up in the future during this raid. Now, once you drop down, you're actually going to be in very close proximity to a chest that has the chance to spawn exotics, although just the radiant materials this chest gives is worth getting. The thing is, you can actually get this chest on your own time by doing it solo. It's so easy that it's simply not worth it to do it with a team of 6 because sometimes it doesn't spawn where you want it to. If you want to know where to find this first chest, I've made a separate video just for that, and there should be an annotation on screen right now. Click that and it'll open a new window so you can watch that video. Now, once you all fall down this hole, you're going to start the very first section. Now, what is going to happen is that you'll notice that when you're in the light, you have no weight of darkness, but when you step out of the light, you start to get weight of darkness times 1, 2, 3, etc. all the way up to 10. Weight of darkness 10 will make you unable to run, and you'll be walking at a snail's pace. Now, how you avoid this is by going from lantern to lantern along this section, and when you're standing by the lantern, it will eliminate these weight of darkness. Now, you can't stand by a lantern infinitely because it will blow up after a certain amount of time. Now, you will see the actual route you're supposed to take in this video in its entirety, but it's easy to remember that once you're at one of the lanterns, you can usually see the next lantern you're supposed to go to off in the distance. Also, there'll pretty much always be a cobblestone pathway to the next lantern. Along the way, you're going to be fighting thralls and having to watch out for giant holes in the ground. Falling down a hole will result in an instant death. Now, you can run all as one unit as we're doing in this video, or a secondary tactic that you might want to use is have 3 people run forward like you're seeing in this video and use the lantern strategy, and 3 people run once the first lantern blows up. What this is going to do is that the first 3 people, especially if they're talented, can kind of take on the thralls by themselves, and the last 3 people will kind of be a cleanup crew, reviving anyone who gets downed. And even though they're going to be walking very slowly, all of the aggro is going to be on the first 3 people, and there's going to be very few thralls for the slow team to deal with. Now, the only other real tip for this part of the raid is that invisibility is extremely useful if you have a hunter, and once you reach a lantern, if you're the first one there, immediately turn around and start shooting at the thralls. And grenades are extremely useful in this part. Turning around and seeing a bunch of thralls and killing them all with a single grenade is going to happen a lot, so make sure your grenades are recharging as quickly as they can. Also, any super that impacts a large area, like the Titan Striker, is going to be very useful in this part as well. Now, you'll go lantern to lantern until you reach another circle like was in the very beginning to activate the raid. One person stands in this circle, and then this activates building the bridge over to complete this portion of the raid. Now, the thing is that you don't actually have to stand on this circle. One person just has to go in it to activate it, and then as long as you're near the circle, that's good enough. So if there's too much pressure on the circle, there's too many guys in the circle and you have to get off, don't worry about it. It won't restart or lessen your progress in any way. Once your team holds out around the circle, you're going to see the text appear that the bridge is complete. The path forward is clear. As soon as you see this text, run across the bridge. Even though on your screen the bridge will not be built, you will be able to walk on the shadowy remains and the bridge will build underneath you. This is going to give you a couple extra seconds that may indeed save your life. Once you start going across the bridge, just keep running, ignore all other enemies, jump over them if you can, and you're going to just run into glowing light and complete this portion of the raid. Now, the second part is a little complicated, so please bear with me, but essentially you're building another bridge. You're going to see a circle in the middle of the map, essentially, that is like every other circle, and you stay on this to build the bridge. This one isn't like the previous one. You actually have to stay in it to be building the bridge. Now, the important thing to know is that there's two kind of floating pillars where there's this weird goopy stuff coming off on either side of the middle circle. If someone doesn't stand under these weird goopy pillars, you lose. So have people standing underneath them in the goop constantly while someone is standing in the middle and building the bridge. Again, if someone standing is standing in the middle and there isn't a person on, let's say, the right side of the goopy pillar, your team will lose. They will glow red, you'll know something's wrong, and then everyone will instantly be killed. So make sure you have people on either side. Now, there is an exploit to this part involving dying and letting a warlock revive everyone, and it's going to trigger the people to spawn on the other side of the bridge, and you can just snipe them. It's extremely easy, and there'll be an annotation on screen right now if you want to do that method. Now, if you don't, then the method that I usually use, just because it's quicker and sometimes you simply don't have a Sunslinger Warlock with you, is just to get the first 2 or 3 people across and then let the other 3 die. Now, how you get across is while you're holding open the bridge and the bridge is building itself, there will be a sword bearer that spawns. Once you kill the sword bearer, you can grab his sword and make your way across the bridge. If you try to go across the bridge without a sword, you will be killed. Once you are across the bridge with the sword, you will see gatekeepers, and gatekeepers you can only kill with the sword. So just use a number of heavy attacks, that's with the right trigger, and you will be able to stun him with each attack, killing him with ease. Once across, you can kind of hide by this little pillar on the very edge of the map, and you'll see there's another one adjacent on the opposite side of the bridge holder opener thing on your side. Basically, what you're supposed to do is that once you get 3 people across, the 3 people then hold open the bridge and start building it from the side you're trying to reach, letting the other 3 people across. But again, once 2 or 3 people get across the bridge, the other people on the original side can simply die, and this is going to trigger the 2 ogres to spawn. Once you kill these 2 ogres, you win this section. There's really no reason to bring all 6 people across, especially if you're standing where I am. You essentially can't even be killed. A few minutes with an icebreaker that has unlimited ammo, and you will kill the ogres no problem. Once the 2 ogres are dead, it's going to complete this section and open up the next section of the raid. Now, for this next part, you have to complete as quickly as possible, but not for the section, just to get a chest. If you can Galahorn or rocket or just kill the 2 Shriekers as quickly as possible and have other teammates just running as fast as they can, what can happen is that you will go through this section, again, as quickly as possible, and someone can make it into a door that is closing slowly in front of you. If you actually make it into this door, what's going to happen is that the door will open for everyone and you're able to get a chest. Now, we failed on this part, but it's not really essential to get this chest. You only get materials. I've never experienced any sort of exotic weapon or armor drop from this chest, and I've opened it plenty of times. The next section is where things get difficult. You have to kill a certain wizard in the very middle of the map. Now, the best thing to do is to split your team off, 3 to the right and 3 to the left. Someone from each side will run into the middle and bait out the 2 wizards. When you go in, they'll see you, look at you, and start chasing you, and then you've baited them successfully. Once you kill the wizards, you have to go back inside and kill a Shrieker again on each side. Once the 2 Shriekers on each side are dead, what I like to do is change everyone to go over to one of the sides. I like the left side personally. Now, with your entire team on the left side, you basically assault into the middle where there is 1 single wizard remaining, and you kill this wizard and you essentially win this section. It's almost impossible to try to kill all of the enemies to let you have a good go at the wizard without being shot at, so be prepared to be, jumping around and Galahorning while you're trying to avoid the knights, because time is of the essence. If you take too long, the wizard will begin its lullaby of darkness or whatever it's called, and then you're only going to have 30 seconds to kill it or you lose this section. But with your entire team all assaulting from the same side and all shooting at this one wizard, you should be able to take it down relatively easy. Once the wizard is finally dead, just get out of there. You need to survive long enough to trigger your rewards and continue to the next section. As long as there is just one player that survives this section, all you have to do is get out of the middle, go up onto the towers that you were probably hiding out to kill the wizards in the first place, and you essentially can't be attacked. You slowly snipe all of the knights until you eventually kill enough of them, and then you'll see the rewards pop up for your team. We now have the last section, which is actually killing Crota. Your entire team stands in the very middle circle essentially, and your screen will be kind of glowing green if you're in the proper location. Once your entire team is inside this circle, it will start the section. Now it's important to know that with the presence of Crota active, you're going to not be able to regenerate health. If you get hit by a bullet, you will have that lowered health for the rest of the segment. Now you can counteract this by going to get the Chalice of Light that's going to be in the very middle of the map. It's going to be glowing and easy to see. You just run over it and hold X and you're going to get it. While you're holding it, you can regenerate health like normal, and your teammates can take it from you so then they can regenerate health, and just make sure you pass it around your team. Now I think the easiest strategy for normal mode is the left side strategy, which is just go and hang out at the top of the stairs on the left side. Now this is kind of like the bridge section, whereas you're going to be killing sword bearers, grabbing swords, and doing stuff. But this time when you're doing stuff, you're killing Crota. Aside from selecting a dedicated sword bearer, you also must select a dedicated sniper, preferably someone with a good icebreaker, in order to take care of the boomer knights that will spawn in the tower directly in front of you. The sniper's sole purpose is to kill these knights, and aside from shooting a rocket or two at Crota when the sword bearer calls out, he is just looking for the boomer knights to spawn and killing them when they do. Once you grab the sword, hop up where you see me hop up on one of these rock outlets on the left side. As the sword bearer, it's your responsibility to tell your team when to unleash a volley of rocket launchers at Crota. This is going to bring down his shield, make him kneel, and make him susceptible for you to hit him with the sword. If all goes well, you'll jump out, get a few hits, jump away, and you'll actually be able to down him one more time and get in for some more hits. Once you see his shield back up, get the hell out of there because he will insta-kill you with one smack. The death of you or one of your teammates will result in the spawning of a large object above where Crota usually stands in the middle of the map, called the Oversoul. Your entire team must focus fire on this object because failure to kill it in a few seconds will result in an explosion that will wipe your entire team out. It's good to know that aiming down sights while shooting the Oversoul results in a damage bonus, so if you have a weapon that can hipfire it, it's better to aim down sights. Crota will then run off to the right side. Since you're on the left side, he can't shoot you from there, so it really won't concern you. Now once Crota moves off from the right side back into the middle, you then can kill the sword bearer and do it all again. Once the sword bearer has hopefully gotten 2 good attacks in, it is imperative that your entire team then go and make it down into the middle bottom section. You'll see my team going there now. This is because 2 ogres are going to spawn, and it's kind of hard to deal with them if you stay out to the left side. On top of that, Crota is going to make his way over to the left side, and he is going to insta-kill the hell out of your team if you're still there. Now once your entire team is underneath in the middle section, it is going to be very easy to snipe the ogres when they come for you. Once you kill the ogres, don't quite run out right away because Crota is often still on the left side and can kill you easily if you make that mistake. Wait underneath until you see Crota back in the middle and then go out and proceed to the left side. Once you're back on the left side, it's again rinse and repeat. Kill the sword bearer, grab the sword, attack Crota, and by now you should have him with low enough health that you should be able to kill him. A good level 32 sword bearer can kill him in 2 swords without ever having to go in the middle part to avoid the ogres. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe for more Destiny content, and as always, have a good day.